So, here we go. First top 10 list for all you guys to enjoy. Please, got to specify these are my own personal opinions. Don't come at me in the comments, but let me know your top 10s down in the comments below. Let's dive into this. Hello and welcome to FTTR. I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about my top 10 favourite wrestlers of 2023. But before we dive into that big juicy topic, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Who are your favourite wrestlers? Any promotion, wherever you would like, please feed them down in the comments because I want to get this conversation going. I want to know what other people think. This is going to be very interesting. So in terms of my top 10 favourite wrestlers, this all comes down to a matter of things. I don't just look at, work rate or character. It's sort of the overall package and how they've been presented throughout the year of 2023. And more importantly, it's who I've gotten the most enjoyment out of watching, because I think that's key, isn't it, for your top 10 favourite wrestlers. I think it has to be people that you enjoy watching, people that you like, people that you gravitate towards. That's what favourite wrestling is. I'm not necessarily saying this is the ungodly best wrestler of the year list, but this is my personal top 10. So let's dive into the bit that will cause, of course, some controversy, and that is the honourable mentions. So I've got quite a big list for my honourable mentions. There were a lot of names that all came close. For the most part with this list, I think my top 3 has pretty much been the same throughout the year. It's the other elements that I've been looking to shift around, and that was really hard. The number 10 slot for me was incredibly difficult to pick. So here are a few names that did not make my top 10 list. We have Athena, we have Jon Moxley, Bullet Club Gold, Swerve Strickland, Hangman Page, Rhea Ripley, Bayley, Kid Lycos, Shota Umino, and the current World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. Just missed out being on this list. It came down to him and my number 10 pick, and I just had to think, who have I enjoyed watching more? And that's who I went with. You've got to go with your heart on these things. Honourable mentions are out the way. Shall we dive straight into this list? So coming in at number 10, we have the current Intercontinental Champion, and that is Gunther. Gunther is, as has been said many times, a perfect wrestler. I love everything that he does. He's managed to overcome the name Gunther, and I think he's had some really, really good feuds here. While he hasn't been featured on pay-per-views, I really like the Miz feud. I really love the Chad Gable stuff. I really love the Sheamus McIntyre match at WrestleMania. I think he's done some incredible stuff, and he's capped it off with a proper highlight with that Miz feud. I thought the way he carried himself and the way he was presented in the Miz feud was borderline perfect for me. I thought he was so good in that role and got the best out of the Miz. I really enjoyed that match. He's been on a terrific tear as the Intercontinental Champion throughout this year. And yeah, he's just put on some really great bangers. I can't wait to see where we go from here. It seems like the Chad Gable stuff's been dropped. But will he lose the championship at Mania? Will he venture into a feud with Cody Rhodes? Will he main event Bash in Berlin? There's a lot of cool stuff with Gunther, and I think he's had a stellar year throughout 2023. Coming in at number 9, we have a name you may not have heard of. You might have if you're a British wrestling fan, and that is Luke Jacobs. Luke Jacobs has been putting on banger after banger after banger after banger throughout the country, throughout Rev Pro, throughout Progress Wrestling. He has been a true, flag bearer for British independent wrestling. He's been so good. His match at Wonder Brawl is one of my favourite matches of the year. His match with Ricky Knight Jr. was awesome at Vendetta. His match with Spike in the Birmingham show, Feel the Noise, was also class. His Rev Pro stuff has been brilliant. he takes every match so seriously, and everything is so fast paced for a bloke his size. Everything is so fast paced. He had a banger of a match at the weekend with Tomohiro Ishii at Rev Pro Uprising. He's class. He's absolutely class. I can't wait to see what Luke Jacobs does next. Hopefully a G1 Climax is in his future, because my God, that would be the stuff of a legend, and he earned his place on this list. I love Luke Jacobs so much. Coming in at number 8 is someone that I've not really heard a lot of people talk about when it comes to Wrestler of the Year, but I think she has had a stellar year, and that's Becky Lynch. I think since the Man gimmick, this year is probably the most I've enjoyed Becky Lynch. I wasn't too keen on Big Time Bex. I wasn't too keen on that heel run. I liked when she turned face and, sided with Bianca. But I think she's had some really good stuff in 2023, from the NXT title run to the feud with Trish. I thought was outstanding. I think it's one of the best main roster feuds of the year, and that steel cage match is one of my favourite matches of the year. Then bringing it all back around to sort of like War Games, having a place in that, I think she's done great. I think she's really done great, and she's really setting herself up for Rhea Ripley. She managed to stay away from that title scene for a little bit. I think she's managed to reinvent her character a little bit, and then putting over Lyra Valkyria on NXT was great. I thought it was a really good way that she was used. I've really enjoyed Becky Lynch. I think she's been fantastic throughout this year, and I can't wait to see what she does at the Rumble and at WrestleMania this year. I think she's been really, really good. Coming in at number 7, we have the current TNT champion, Christian Cage. I don't think when Christian joined AEW, the idea of having him on my list of top 10 wrestlers of the year at some point, I don't think it even sort of crossed my mind. And this is where I'll go back and realise I did put him on, but I don't think I did. I think Christian in this role, it's just like perfect. The way his character has evolved throughout this year, the way he has elevated the TNT title, because it felt like a bit of a joke through the Wardlow era, the Sammy Guevara era, all that stuff didn't feel good. But Christian Cage has elevated that belt. He's elevated Killswitch, and he's elevated Nick Wayne. And this feud with Adam Copeland, I think, has been really, really great. I really like the feud with Darby as well. He, of course, had a good showing at Wembley. Christian's had a fantastic year, and he's going to be capping it off at World's End in an ODQ match with Adam Copeland. That's going to be great. I think promo work great, matches great, because I really, really enjoyed the Darby match, and I really enjoyed the Adam Copeland match from Dynamite. I think it's been great. It's been a fantastic year for Christian Cage. We will see if he can end the year with the patriarchy on top. We will see how that goes. But yeah, Christian Cage has been chef's kiss perfection in 2023. Coming in at number 6, we have Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe, I think this has been, you could argue, has maybe been the year of Samoa Joe. It's been the year that they've really pushed Joe to the forefront of AEW, specifically in the Maxwell Jacob Friedman feud, and specifically with the Ring of Honor TV Championship, doing incredible stuff. He's had fantastic feuds this year. I really love the promo between him and MJF. I really love the Punk feud. Like, that's may get forgotten, but he did feud with CM Punk this year in a fantastic match at Wembley. I loved that match. The match at Wembley was so good. And he's had a really good back and forth, that sort of era of Collision starting. Joe was a focal point of that, and I was so happy to see it. I think he's done wonders. He's capping off the year strong, challenging for the AEW World title at World's End. He's been great. Great character all round as Samoa Joe. Coming in at number 5, we have someone who probably never leave my list as long as he wrestles, because he is one of my favourite wrestlers on planet Earth, and that is Spike Trivet. You should all know by now that Spike Trivet is one of my favourite wrestlers working today. His heel work, his work with Dominatus Regnum has been nothing short of spectacular. He started off the year so strong with Cara Noir, Tom Dawkins feud, culminating at Heavy Metal in April, I do believe. Then he's gone from strength to strength, having bangers across the country, having a great feud with Kid Lycos, ending in an awesome no DQ match. And he's been so strong. He's been positioned so strong, cutting great promo after great promo in Progress Wrestling. He is the face of that promotion for a reason. He's just that good on the mic, and he's that good in the ring. He's doing stuff in Rev Pro now, having a street fight with Robbie X at Uprising, which I hear is fantastic. He's been truly brilliant, and maybe not as good as last year, because last year he was, I think, higher on my list for top wrestlers. But my God, he's had an incredible year yet again. Coming in at number 4, we have the current NXT champion, Ilya Dragunov. Ilya Dragunov is, again, someone who, will make my list a lot because he is one of my favourites. But I think he's had a really great year, particularly the Dijak feud. I thought the Dijak feud is one of the highlights of NXT this year, and the last man standing match that they had at Battleground was nothing short of exceptional. And then I think his saga with Carmelo Hayes was really good as well. I think they had really great matches. The 2 matches that they had were some of the best that NXT's put on in years. They were utterly mind-blowing. And I think he's just had a great year, ending it as champion. That's just a fantastic year for Ilya Dragunov. I love a lot of the stuff that he has done. I love even the Corbin match. I thought was really good. I think he's one of Corbin's best matches. Ilya can bring out that, fire in someone and really, carry himself well in the ring. And throughout this year, he's just been captivating. He's been my highlight of NXT whenever I watched NXT. And there's no one better. Well, 3 people apparently this year who are better than Ilya Dragunov. But yeah, really loved everything Ilya's done this year. Now we come to the top 3. The top 3 have pretty much been set in stone for me for, probably like half the year. It's always been fluctuating between these top 3. I feel like a lot of top 10 lists are probably going to be the same. But for me, the order in which they have landed, coming in at number 3, is the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. What a year he has had. What a year. Like, honestly, he's had the Okada match, which even with an injury was great. He had the strap match with Ricky Starks, which was incredible. He had the match with Zack Sabre Jr., which is one of the greatest matches possibly of all time. He had the match with Eddie Kingston. He had the 6-person tag just at Final Battle. And he ended the year by challenging Okada in the Tokyo Dome, which we're getting at the start of January. I think his resume speaks for himself. There's probably a lot of matches there. He had one of the best Iron Man matches of all time at the start of the year. Let us not forget that as well. He's had a brilliant year, and he's only been ousted by 2 people. But any other year, this could have been Bryan Danielson's, but there's 2 people who I preferred watching a little bit more. Not to take anything away from the American Dragon, but he had a mind-blowingly good year, in my opinion. Coming in at number 2, we have Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, the current AEW World Champion. Now, I know this is probably going to be the most controversial of picks because some people aren't necessarily on board with MJF as the babyface character, but we can't forget that, the rest of the year happened. He had one of the greatest Iron Man matches of all time with Bryan Danielson. He had one of the greatest 4-way matches of all time in the 4 Pillars match at Double or Nothing. He had, he main evented Wembley Stadium in a great match with Adam Cole. One of the best feuds AEW's done in quite some time. You know, the Adam Cole feud has been really fantastic. His feud with Joe I thought was awesome. I thought even his feud with Jay White was really, really good. And I don't think there's anyone who's been able to switch up and play a babyface and a heel as well. If you think about MJF that we got at the start of the year compared to where MJF is now, who's done that better? The pure babyface and the ultimate hated heel. Who's done that better this year? No one. No one has been better at playing both the villain and the hero, which is why he's in the spot, because no one else has done it. He's like, I don't think anyone's ever done it better of flip-flopping between the two so well and so organically and getting the fans behind him. He's been fantastic, and I'm sure his match with Joe is going to be great at World's End. Yeah, really, really great year for MJF. It has been arguably the year of MJF, but it has been the year of one more person, just a little bit more. Coming in at number 1, you should all probably know who this is if you've watched me, you know, this year and seen me review shows that he's on. I don't think it can be argued anyone but this guy, but it is hands down my number 1 wrestler of 2023 is Will Ospreay, without a shadow of a doubt, because the amount of matches that Will Ospreay has had this year that have, you know, absolutely enthralled me and made me realise why I love wrestling and what I love about wrestling. Both matches with Kenny. You've got his match with Jericho, which I utterly, utterly love. You have his performance in the Super Strong Style tournament. You have his match with Gabe Kidd at Uprising, which was fantastic. And I'm missing some. I know for a fact that I'm missing matches there, but that's 5. You know, his Speedball Mike Bailey match from, oh my God, not Hard to Kill, Bound for Glory, is mind-blowingly good. He's done so much. Shota Umino in New Japan. It's staggering how many matches that he has had that have been next to perfect for me. And it's not a question. It is not a question to me that Will Ospreay is the best wrestler of 2023. Whether it be in indie promotions, whether it be on the grandest stage in Wembley Stadium, he always delivers, and he has delivered throughout this year. Cutting probably my favourite promo of the year as well, from his feud with Kenny at the start of the year. He's done everything. He has done absolutely everything in 2023 and has cemented himself at the top of my list for best wrestler of 2023. And that wraps up my top 10 wrestlers. What do you guys think? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll try and reply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.